Hello everyone, I'm Zhang Yishu with Xinhua News Agency reporting from China's Hong Kong Special Administrative Region. Today is a big day for Hong Kong, a big day for Hong Kong citizens. Today, the Hong Kong HKSAR will hold a Legislative Council election, the first since improvements to its electoral system. And today there are more than 600 polling stations across Hong Kong, and they will be open today for about 4.5 million registered electors to cast their votes. And now we are at one of the polls, and we all know that Hong Kong has seen a lot of ups and downs in recent years, and political distractions have left a series of social issues. Because in the past, elections here in Hong Kong have always descended in chaos and were used by anti-China forces to endanger national security and undermine Hong Kong's stability and prosperity. Under the one country, two systems, the central government has acted decisively to improve Hong Kong's electoral system and implemented the principle of patriots administering Hong Kong. And so now we come to the first Legislative Council election after all these significant measures implemented to improve Hong Kong's electoral system. And this year there are 153 candidates vying for the 90 seats in the Legislative Council. And there are many new faces this year. The candidates are more diverse in their ages, professions, and backgrounds more than ever before. And what's more important is that there are also many grassroots representatives who are, like, for example, bus drivers and registered electricians. And what's more important is that people with different political views are also nominated to attend the competition. So the new electoral system is designed to unite everyone in the society under the principle of loving the country and loving Hong Kong, and to building greater consensus across the society of the whole Hong Kong. And today we are very honored to have one of the voters who is also the president of Hong Kong think tank Wisdom Hong Kong, Cho Po-ching, to join us to share his views on today's election as a Hong Kong citizen. Good morning, Dr. Cho. Thank you for joining us. And we have noticed that today's election has attracted a lot of attention from all parts of Hong Kong society. So why is today's election so important for Hong Kong?
Actually, it's not attracting only Hong Kong. The mainland is also very attentive to this election, even the world at large. It is a very important election. Today, we are going to elect our Legislative Council members. Now, LegCo is a very important part of this government body. In Hong Kong, our system is called executive-led system. It consists of the executive branch, the LegCo, and the judiciary. So, LegCo is one of the three government body to administer Hong Kong. Another important function, actually, it is charged with the important responsibility to pass bills, ordinance. And then it also has to check the government's budget, and when things appropriate, to pass it so that the government money can be used to the public. If this function is interfered, there will be delay in this giving the money to the development of Hong Kong, and it will affect the livelihood and welfare of our people. Of course, it also has the duty to monitor what the administration is running the Hong Kong. And it also represents our people to voice out their opinion or appeal to the government to improve the policy. So this is a very important organization, and this is a very important election.
So what are the features of today's election in your perspective? Well, I believe you have voted in many elections in the previous elections. So what are the differences between today's election and all other elections before?
This is the first LegCo election after the implementation of the improvement of electoral system in Hong Kong. The special feature is this. We try to first achieve only patriots will administer Hong Kong. On the other hand, we want as wide a range of expertise as possible so that we can gather voices from all sectors of the community. The success of this election is a milestone in the implementation of the one country, two system. And there is a coming very important election in March next year, the election of the Chief Executive of Hong Kong, the CE. This result of today's election will be instrumental to the success of the election of the Chief Executive next year.
As we know, today's election is full of competition.
Yes.
So as a Hong Kong citizen, as a voter, what are your expectations for the future Legislative Council members? What do you think they should do to build Hong Kong into a better place?
We have high expectation for the coming LegCo. In the near term, because in previous years, the work of LegCo has been seriously delayed because of this malicious action of the opposition parties' people. The LegCo can be said to be paralyzed. So there are a lot of work now lag behind, including over 100 bills are not passed. So in the near term, these LegCo new members, they have to chase back our time, the time lost in previous years. These over 100 bills are affecting the livelihood of many, many Hong Kong citizens, especially as a doctor, most concerned with the building of hospitals. These are delayed for years. So the first expectation is to chase back the time by this new LegCo member. Second thing is, what our system is need LegCo to cooperate with the executive branch of the administration. So I hope they will develop a better relationship, a working relationship, so that there is a good communication and mutual support and cooperation between the LegCo and the government. In the longer run, LegCo member must think how to solve the deep-rooted basic problem of Hong Kong, namely the housing, education, livelihood, which include what I'm most concerned, medical services. So these are the things our new LegCo member must do. Even in longer terms, they have to think, is our structure of our government okay? Is there any room for improvement? Like setting up new committee, like the cultural committee. This is a longer term they must do.
We know that the central government has acted decisively to help improve Hong Kong's electoral system and implemented the principle of patriots administering Hong Kong to help Hong Kong return to its right track. So, in your opinion, what's the positive effects of all these important measures?
It is fought in the previous years that we allowed some bad people into our legislature, into our system. So our administering of the region is seriously impeded by their action here and there, even inside the LegCo. The central government seeing this, has implemented this improvement of electoral system. There are a few changes. First and foremost, Hong Kong is to be administered by patriots. What is patriots? Patriots is one who loves our country and love Hong Kong. They should respect our nation. They should embrace the returning of sovereignty to China. Also, they must not impair the development and the prosperity of Hong Kong. So this is a very basic requirement to be a patriot. It is out of imagination if a place is being administered by someone who don't love this place. It is out of imagination. So first, we have to make sure they are patriots. And second, we have enlarged our covering of the citizen to let more voices to go to the administration. We have increased the number of vacancy in electoral from 70 to 90. And the election category, we have put in one more category, that is the category consisting of the representative from nationwide organization, including the members of this National Congress. So this means there will be a better communication between Hong Kong electoral and mainland. This is very important because Hong Kong is not an isolated place. We have no natural resources, but we have a very strong backing, our mother country. We must have good cooperation, understanding, and trust between Hong Kong and the mainland. So this new category will function like that. They are bridges to let the Hong Kong people know what the mainland people think, or even the central government think. And conversely, they will try to interpret what the central government is thinking and how Hong Kong and mainland can fuse together to develop, to fulfill our China dream.
Thank you, Thank you, Dr. Zhou. And so many people, especially in some foreign countries and some anti-China forces, they keep slandering Hong Kong's election and democracy. But more and more people realize that democracy takes different forms. Exactly. And there is no one-size-fits-all model for democracy. So what do you think of the development of Hong Kong's democracy?
Well, the Western country is always doing things like that. This can be said is a geopolitical conflict, or even the conflict initiated by the Western country, especially the USA, to try to suppress the development of our country. Democracy. The word is coming from Greek. Demo is people, crazy is rule. It just means people rule. But what people rule for? The aim of people ruling is to make people happy, to make people have advancement, to look after their welfare. So, for different people, for different ethnic groups, for different tradition, there cannot be one form of democracy, as you have just rightly said. We must have this democracy according to the practice in that region. Now, the democracy in Hong Kong has improved a lot. Why I say that? Before 1997, during this colonial administration, our governor is appointed by the British government. Hong Kong people don't know who is coming to govern us until we see from the newspaper. There is no consultation and, of course, no election. And also, the electoral members, until very late during the last years of the British administration in Hong Kong, all the electoral members are appointed to. So people have no say, no vote. But after 1997, after this returning of the sovereignty to our motherland, central government has given us high autonomy to run the place, including we open up the electoral for people to vote, and we can also vote our chief executive. We have the law, the Constitution of the People's Republic of China, and the Basic Law of Hong Kong to govern this. So we have to do, and we will do, according to what is provided by the law. The democracy in Hong Kong is getting better and better. Another thing I want to stress, this Western country always say this and that is not democratic. We should always remember, Hong Kong is not a country, not a nation. Hong Kong is only a special administrative region in China. So you can call it a city. You shouldn't compare a city with a country, like what they're doing in the US or in the UK. We can compare what? City to city. Like Hong Kong can be compared to London. You can see that the administering of London, their power is very little compared to Hong Kong. Hong Kong can print our own money. Hong Kong can print our textbook for the children to be educated. A London mayor doesn't have the power to do this. We even have the power to do some of the communication with foreign countries. So the democracy in Hong Kong has much improved and will keep on improving.
So this is a huge improvement to Hong Kong's democracy after 1997, when Hong Kong returned to the motherland. Thank you very much, Mr. Cho. Thank you for sharing with us your insights. As we discussed, democracy is a common value shared by all humanity, but it has different forms in different societies. The essence of democracy is to unite all the people together and build a better society in which everyone lives a better life. That's all for today's Xinhua Live. Please follow China Xinhua News on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for the results of Hong Kong HKSAR's Legislative Council election.